While you are strolling through these cities, you need to keep a close eye on both your back and your pockets because they are quite dangerous. One of the most prominent security agencies warns guests who are coming in to exercise extreme caution, and why not? It is important to exercise caution in cities like London, which has experienced almost 2,000 offenses in the past 2 years, and Malmo, which has experienced grenade attacks every other day. To put it simply, I will explain to you in this video how dangerous certain cities are. Therefore, even though you want to take a holiday and take in the breathtaking scenery of these locations, you need to take precautions at all times. The only way you will be able to take pleasure in your holiday or summer excursion is if you are still living. Dublin, Ireland comes in at number 10. Here we begin with Dublin, Ireland. Now, before you start fantasizing about quaint pubs and welcoming locals, allow me to help you see things from a different perspective. It is not just about Guinness and having a good time in Dublin, which has a population that is now hovering around 1.3 million in the year 2024. The city also has fewer positive aspects. The city's crime rate has increased by 11.78% between the years 2019 and 2020, with the most common offenses being theft and the handling of stolen property. For the most part, walking at night is secure, yet there is always that low hum of danger, particularly considering that the city's murder rate is currently hovering at 1.1 per 100,000 inhabitants according to the statistics for 2019. In addition, let us not overlook the fact that a recent survey placed Dublin as one of the cities in Europe that is considered to be the most dangerous at night. Even though you are enjoying your pint, you should probably keep an eye on the exit just in case something happens. Brussels, Belgium is the 9th location. Brussels, Belgium is the next destination. The fact that this city is the de facto capital of the European Union does not change the fact that it has its fair share of issues, however. The city of Brussels had a population of 1.2 million people as of January 2023, and even the residents of the city need to be on high alert. There is a high incidence of pickpocketing, scams, and harassment at this location on a daily basis. It is impossible to dismiss the sensation of dread that one has in crowded locations or districts that are less desirable, even when the exact murder statistics may not be extremely high. The city of Brussels is well known for its chocolates and beer, but it is important to keep in mind that even the most delightful places have their sour spots. Athens, Greece was ranked 8th. The place where civilization began, but sadly it is also a popular destination for criminal activity and turmoil in certain regions. With a populace that has had its fair share of economic turbulence, Athens offers a one-of-a-kind combination of antique marvels and contemporary challenges despite its population. In the event that tourists are caught off guard, violent demonstrations and strikes may break out. Pickpocketing and other forms of petty crime are extremely common, particularly in tourist areas that are busy and on public transportation. The general attitude of attention that is necessary might be demanding for visitors despite the fact that the city does not stand out in terms of the number of homicides. It is a city with a history that is unmatched, but it is also a place where you should always be sure to guard your back. It is London, United Kingdom. The next city on the list is London, which has a population that is currently over 8 million people. Let me bring you back down to earth before you start daydreaming about the Queen, Big Ben, or that famous red double-decker bus. Now, before you get all dreamy-eyed, let me get you back there. It's not just tea and crumpets that London has to offer. The city also has a dark side. In the year 2022, there were 1,963 instances of stealing, making it the most common type of criminal offense. This represents a remarkable increase of 86% compared to the previous year. As if that were all, violent crimes and stabbings are also a part of the daily menu, with knife crime reaching around 12,785 instances in 2022 and 2023. If you thought that was it, you would be wrong. As you make your way around certain areas of London, you could get the impression that you are in a real-life version of Assassin's Creed, lacking the fancy clothing and hidden swords. To put it another way, if you are thinking about moving or going on a trip, you might want to consider purchasing a good pair of running shoes. Odessa, Ukraine comes in at 6th. That brings us to Odessa. They claim that Odessa is the pearl of the Black Sea, and I concur with them. It is difficult to pinpoint the exact population of this Ukrainian city, but it is estimated to be somewhere around 1 million people. This city is both beautiful and complicated. There is a web of organized crime in Odessa that could give Hollywood a run for its money, despite the fact that the city is home to some of the most beautiful buildings and vibrant culture in the world. We're talking about a level of peril that makes The Godfather look like a story written for for children to read before going to bed. In spite of the fact that precise statistics are difficult to come by due to the clandestine nature of its underworld, there are frequent stories of violent confrontations and illegal activity. It is strongly recommended that immigrant and visitor individuals have their wits about them. It is similar to playing a game of chess with your safety. You should constantly be 2 steps ahead of the game. The 5th entry is Paris, France. It is said that Paris is the city of love, light, and theft. Paris, which has a population that is getting up to 2.2 million people, is every bit the romantic fantasy that it is marketed as being. On the other hand, beneath the surface of its enchanting cafes and beautiful art comes a problem that cannot be ignored, and that problem is theft and violent attacks. In recent years, the city has witnessed a discernible rise in the number of muggings and assaults, with a special focus on those being committed against visitors. What are the numbers? It is safe to conclude that Paris would be a formidable competitor for the record of having the most number of pickpockets per square meter if it were to compete for the award. It is possible that strolling down some streets at night will feel less like a romantic stroll and more like a cameo in a story about a criminal thriller. Thus, it is advisable to keep your stuff close by and your beloved close by. Number 4, Catania, Italy. Catania is a city that has a population that is approximately 315,184 people and is located at the base of the ever-vigilant Mount Etna. However, do not be fooled by its lovely settings. This city is the 2nd largest in Sicily, and although it may not be at the top of the rankings for the highest crime rate in Italy, that title goes to Milan. It does have its own set of problems. You might be thinking, hey, that's not too bad, when you see that the Travel Safe Abroad Index gives it a score of 71 for safety, but you might reconsider that thought. When it is not, Catania is a relatively safe place to visit. Pickpocketing and purse snatching are examples of minor offenses that represent the appetizers in this context. Nonetheless, the main meal consists of more serious concerns. In spite of the fact that physical crime is uncommon in the city, the undercurrents of organized crime continue to have an effect on the atmosphere of the city. The city has been working hard to dispel its reputation as a mafia supercenter. Keep your wits about you, especially when you are going to be there at night if you are planning a visit. It is important to keep in mind that those skilled thieves are not only chasing tourists, they are fairly broad in their selection of victims. Number 3, Naples, Italy. Naples, a city that is throbbing with life and history and sadly a bit of danger as well, is the next city that we reach as we move westward. Naples is the kind of place where every alleyway tells a story, although some of those stories are more like fairy tales from Grimm than Disney. Naples has a population that is getting close to or even surpassing 967,000 people. When it comes to the local mafia syndicate known as the Camorra, Naples has a reputation for being the playground of the Camorra. Petty crime and more major offenses coexist in this city, which is a city where they dance hand in hand. As a matter of fact, Naples has been featured in a number of news stories, and not all of them have been positive. Both tourists and locals should keep a keen eye on their surroundings and always keep their belongings close to hand. The vivid and chaotic energy of the city is seductive. Nevertheless, it also serves as a backdrop for a crime rate that is greater than many people would like it to be. Unfortunately, we learn from Naples that beauty and danger can coexist, and that this might happen rather frequently on the same cobblestone street. Marseille, located in France, comes in at number 2. Let's stop by Marseille, which is located in France. Oh, Marseille, with its allure of the Mediterranean and a crime index score of 65.2, which places it among the most dangerous cities in Europe. In terms of population, this port city, which is getting up to 861,000 people, is a study in contrasts. There is, on the one hand, the breathtaking coastline, the delectable cuisine, and the abundant culture. Marseille has been brought to the attention of the world for all the wrong reasons due to the fact that it has a seedy underbelly that is characterized by drug trafficking and gang violence. Given the circumstances, it is a location in which being at the wrong place at the wrong time might have significant repercussions. The northern neighborhoods of the city in particular are infamous for having exceptionally high rates of criminal activity. The visitors are strongly encouraged to maintain vigilance, particularly after dark. Ukraine's Dnipro is the first place. The next stop on our journey is Dnipro, Ukraine, a city that has been mostly overlooked by many people, but is not unfamiliar with the threat of peril. The ongoing violence and political turmoil in Ukraine have cast a long shadow over the city of Dnipro, despite the fact that particular crime data for the city may not be as readily available as they are for other places. Dnipro is a city that plays a crucial role in Ukraine due to its strategic importance and industrial power. Nonetheless, it is also a magnet for problems homes during times of unstable conditions. It is impossible to avoid the fact that living in or visiting Dnipro comes with a set of risks that cannot be disregarded because of the threat of violence, which can come from either organized crime or the ghosts of war.